This is Mike Cuddy, and I'm here to talk to you about my latest project that's on the Titanic. I actually called it the Titanic Project. And some of my friends seem to be confused about that, meaning like, oh, a Titanic project? Or you mean like a massive project? What are you building? When they didn't realize it was actually on the ship. So to start with, I got some of this data set right here off of Kaggle. And I'll start off by saying that I felt like something was not right about this data because there's I think 800 some odd lines in here. Yeah, like 892, and more people than that I think survived the Titanic. So I think this is data that is much. They only took data that could be used for that had as much information as possible on each victim that survived, because this data was really used for machine learning, and it basically trained a machine to identify people that lived on that Titanic or people that died. They see if there's common patterns and stuff like that. So I'll say off the bat that I don't think the data that I got here is 100% accurate. I'm pretty sure my code is right. But anyways, before I go over my code, like always, I'll just start by showing the project, and then I'll talk about some of the strengths and some of the big weaknesses in it. And so I'll just kind of log in right now. Yes, I didn't use password here to hide my password. More about that later. And just log in, and you can just come here, and it has basically 3 pages. This is the home page, well, actually only two. A sign out button, and then investigate data. So here's a home page, just use some lorem ipsum, nothing special. Investigate data, and over here I could be data to explore by sex, so we can see how many females, for example, survived. And it'll basically say out of 342 passengers who survived, 233 females survived. And I don't believe that number is right, 342 people. I believe a lot more people than that survived the Titanic. I actually would say it's up around 8 to 900, or maybe 1,000 or 1,100. But enough about that. So I can go back here, then I can go by class, I can go by age, and I can also do by sex and class. So we can do male, third class, and out of 891 passengers, 300 survived who were male, and 347 survived who were male and from third class. But that doesn't make any sense because it kind of bumps with the previous number. So, like I said, I think the data here wasn't the best that I had. But other than that, it was a pretty good project to use. And I just have uh, kind of like a basic Flexbox layout right here. And also right here, it says the total amount of people on the Titanic 891. That's not true. So in reality, I found that there was over 1,300 on board. So that's something I don't really understand what's going on there. But now I'll talk about some of the efficiencies with this project. If I sign out, I was all proud I made a sign out thing and everything like that. But then if I go back to the login page, I don't even have to log in. All I have to do is go like this, and bam, I'm into the project. If I went over to investigate data, I could do that by just taking that. So what I realized, and now this is a good time to go over to my code, is when I was reading about how to basically make an authentication system within Flask, I read about sessions, and I started to use it, and then I kind of was like, well, I don't think I need it because I can just use up a Mongo database, which I have set up over here, and just basically get the information into my Mongo class like I have right here. So basically what happens is the user comes to the home page, that set up an object here based out of the database class, which is over here in my Mongo file. And then after that, if you submit the form, it gets sent in to do this check down here to verify if the name is in the database. If it is, then it returns one off. The flag is false. If it's not, then it's true. Like so. And then what happens if it is true? Then it redirects you to the index. Else it's signed out, or it redirects you to the sign up page. So that's basically what happens there. And then right here it goes down to the index page where it renders the index template, sign up, which is a sign up code. Again, I'm creating an identity object. I don't think I need to do that, but oh well. And so everything looked fairly good for me until I started to actually, I thought I was done with this project, and I went on to work on a second project that deals with war data. And I'll finish up talking about that project. But like I said, I was using sessions in here, and I believe Yeah, I still have it right up there. And I didn't really understand the purpose of it. And so I took it out, and it wasn't until I was working on my WordDesk project, that's my newest project right now, that I understand how to use it, and I actually made it so it has a true login feature and everything like that. So that'll be the next project I talk about. So that'll come in. But other than that, here's like the code for the pages to look at where I was showing you to pull the data, so the forms and everything like that, and then those go and pull all these different forms right here. So here's all the code. And again, if you need to look at this project in more detail, please head to my GitHub page and also to my blog, which I'll have posted on the links below to read more about it as well. And I think that's everything for this video for now. It's just a simple project, and it really was to see working, trying to make an authentication system, use Mongo, use Flexbox, and do some basic web development stuff. So I'm working now on the back end and front end and trying to really bring them together, and this is a really good learning process for me. So one thing I never really understood here is using the methods get and post right there, and I have a better concept after writing this project. So that's it, I think, on this project. Like I said, the next project I'm working on is WordDesk, and I'm actually using React in that project. And more on that later, my next entry. Other than that, take care and have a great night.